Coming up next, from San Fran Freak Show, the Savage Nation. From Talk 910 KNEW.
Hi there, we are Armstrong and Getty. We're on every morning, 6 to 10 here on 910 KNEW, or download the podcast and listen anytime at 910KNEW.com.
Warning. The Michael Savage Show contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. Here is Michael Savage.
She's not just going to be another vote. She's not just going to be another voice. She's going to be a real leader that will lead this court back to the mainstream, which is what this country needs.
Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, pretending that I'm doing well.
So all of this is a diversion by the people who want to frankly hurt President Obama. You've heard the Republican Senator Jim DeMint say it. Let's make this Obama's Waterloo.
Get the Yenta off. Take the Yenta off the show. In my day, the most that Yenta could have been was a woman who ran a brassiere store in Fresh Meadows. But, of course, this is why we have the Senate we have today. In other words, power to the people. So when the people stand up and say we're not going to be Obatamized anymore, we're not going to take the Obatomy that you want to give us, Barbara Boxer, suddenly that's illegitimate. And then some of you rats on the left have the nerve to say that because somebody brought a Bible, they're Nazis. You ought to, you know what? I think I'm going to stop right here. Play The Great Pretender, then I'll come back in about 10 seconds when I've collected myself because I am so distracted. All right, I'm ready to go again. It only took 5 seconds. Now, first of all, I have created 2 new phrases for you today, Obatomy and Obatamized. I would like everyone listening to the show to see who steals it first in the media. My guess it will be the hemorrhoid with ears, in that he has the best ears for stealing things and he's fastest. So it'll either be him or the golfer. They're very good at stealing phrases and taking them for their own. But the fact of the matter is, just because Boxer wants you to have an Obatomy, just because Boxer wants you to become Obatamized, does not mean that you must become Obatamized by this illegitimate government that we have right now. And let me tell you something else. The more the people speak up, the more the war dogs of the left are going to start yapping and biting. The more you show what true democracy is, the more you're going to know what real hypocrisy you have. Here we have a far-left affirmative action judge named Sotomayor, who was pushed into the Supreme Court by the far left, the same nefarious group that pushed Obama into the White House. And this cretin, Schumer, has the nerve to say that she's going to lead the Supreme Court back to the mainstream, which is what this country needs. What an insult that is to Clarence Thomas. What an insult that is to the other fine people on the Supreme Court. What a real insulting man this bum from Brooklyn is, this Schumer. This illegitimate senator from Brooklyn, Upchuck Schumer, who is diverting tens of millions of dollars to cronies through TARP money, with the Cash for Clunkers program. This illegitimate senator from New York has a lot of gall saying that Sotomayor, a far-left radical affirmative action judge, will lead the Supreme Court back to the mainstream. Now, let me remind you of something else. You're going to hear a lot about the fact that she has broken through a new barrier, that she is the first Hispanic on the Supreme Court. That's a lie. The first Hispanic on the Supreme Court was named Benjamin Nathan Cardozo, who lived between May 1870 and 1938. He was a Supreme Court justice. Now, the left does not consider Cardozo Hispanic because he was Jewish. You see, both Cardozo's maternal grandparents, Sarah Sykes and Isaac Mendes Sykes Nathan, and his paternal grandparents, Ellen Hart and Michael Cardozo, were Sephardic Jews of the Portuguese Jewish community affiliated with the Manhattan's Congregation Shearith Israel. Their families immigrated from England before the American Revolution and were descended from Jews who left the Iberian Peninsula for Holland during the Inquisition. And so because he was from Portugal, and because he was a man, and because he was of Jewish descent, the vermin on the left, who are all anti-Semites, even though many of them are Jews, did not consider Cardozo of Hispanic descent. But make no mistake about it. Although Cardozo was a member of the Spanish and Portuguese Jewish community, the radical left communists do not consider him the first Hispanic justice. And the reason is they want to use the left-wing Sotomayor as their poster girl of affirmative action. In other words, she is going to be used as a battering ram to beat down whatever vestiges of fairness are left on the Supreme Court. Again, don't be Obatamized. Don't take the Obatomy. The protests are growing. Did you know that a new poll from CNN, formerly a left-wing organization, soon to be called right-wing, because they put out a poll that says after 6 months, more view Obama as a failure than Bush did after 6 months. That's from the newly released CNN poll. So soon CNN will be called a member of the far right. Anyone who disagrees with this communist, this Maoist Obama and his Chicago gang is immediately tar-brushed as a member of the right wing. Don't take the Obatomy. Don't be Obatamized. This is the Savage Nation. The phone number is 1-800-449-8255. Listen to clip 22. It gets even more nauseatingly lurid. Listen to 22.
This is the American dream. It's a dream that we all speak about when we campaign. What we've done now has made it real.
Now, why would an Irishman from Vermont be so happy to appoint a female Hispanic who was pushed ahead, not because of her judicial prowess, not because she's written anything anyone can remember, but because she was Hispanic and a woman? Why would he be so proud of that? Why would Feinstein in clip 23 gush so much about Sotomayor? Listen to 23.
Now, finally, here we are, and we have a new Supreme Court justice. And I think it's truly a great day for the United States Supreme Court. I think it's a great day for the law. I think it's a great day for justice. I think it's a great day for every young woman out there that says, yes, I can do it if I work hard.
And if I'm a minority and I'm pushed ahead based upon my ethnicity. That is true. It's real good for those who can't make it based on grades or brains, but who can make it on ethnicity or sexuality. You're right, Feinstein. It's really good. This is what happens after a revolution. Then, of course, there was the Hollywood blockbuster produced by Bill Clinton's friends in Hollywood. And in the New York Post is calling this rescue of the two young ladies from North Korea's Iron Curtain by Bill Clinton, put together by Bing's Shangri-La Entertainment Firm. That's a man from Hollywood, a good friend of Bill. It said Bing's Shangri-La Entertainment Firm also funded a major logistical effort to carefully showcase Clinton's arrival in Tinseltown, which featured Ling lauding the former president while almost in tears. And that is because the Clintons are waiting in the wings. They know that Obama's failing. They know he's falling. They cannot believe that their re-entry to the White House was blocked by an upstart gang from out of the country. After all, if you are the Clintons and you've had power for so long and you know how the wheels of power work, and suddenly a man whose birthplace is unknown, a man who nobody knew as near as he did 2 years ago, is suddenly pushed into the White House with wads of cash and phony votes, you too would be waiting in the wings. And I think you're going to be shocked to hear me say this, but I think this country would be safer with Hillary Clinton in the White House than with this nefarious group, and we don't know who they are, and their front man, Obama, in the White House. That's my feeling. That is not to say I wouldn't prefer an actual conservative, but since there are none, I would say that Hillary might be more trustworthy and perhaps a little less dangerous than is this radical communist government that we have now, who has usurped the White House and taken over the government. That's my opinion. So we can talk about this and that. I guess you can talk about it if you want. The phone number is 1-800-449-8255. Chris in San Francisco, welcome to the Savage Nation from KNEW. Go ahead, please.
Michael, Justice Cardozo, if he's Portuguese, he can't be Hispanic. Hispanic has everything to do with the Spanish language. As a dual citizen of the United States and Portugal, however, proud to be an American first, of course, not very offended, but just wanted to correct you on that fact. If you said he's the first Latin justice, I'd say you're 100% correct.
Well, Webster's Dictionary defines Hispanic, quote, of or relating to the language, people, or culture of Spain or Spanish-speaking Latin America. Do you agree with that?
I do.
Okay. So, therefore, he doesn't count, Cardozo.
No, he's Latin, not a Hispanic.
I see. So she's not Latin, then she's Hispanic.
Yes, but she's both.
So she is not of Latin descent.
She's of Latin descent, but Hispanic.
No, you can't have it both ways. You said to me that she is of Hispanic descent and Cardozo is not.